Jason, oh my god, hey, look at me, look at my eyes right now, okay? It's me, it's Ella, it's Elle. It's just me and you in this room right now, Jason. Forget about everyone, it's just me and you.
Well, we're back. Some of you guys might remember that a few years ago I did a video on a movie called After that was based on a Harry Styles Wattpad fanfiction that was later horribly concealed as like not that when they published it as a book. And I didn't like it at all. For those of you who might need a refresher, the first After movie was such a dumpster fire that even After fans had said that they weren't really happy with how it translated on screen, and there were definitely a lot of expectations that the second movie was supposed to rectify some issues that people had. What happened after that video was definitely not something I expected at all, and that was a very large wave of angry people. To this day, I still haven't received that much hate in response to a video since that one, and it did end up spawning at the time a second video that I made called Surviving the After Storm. Even though people on both sides were very angry and passionate about how angry they were, it still was kind of fun. Like, in a way where you're watching two people in a fight, but they're covered in pillows so they can't actually hurt each other, so it's kind of just funny. So I thought with the second movie coming out, how about round two? Before we start today's video though, I did want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is Raycon. If you guys aren't new to my channel, you probably know that I'm a pretty big fan of Raycon. They offer wireless earbuds that don't just sound great, but fit great too because they offer a variety of different fit options. The best part though is that Raycon earbuds started about half the price as any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, yet they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands, you know. Plus celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Mike Tyson, and Brandy are all obsessed with Raycons too. Raycons are great for working from home or listening to music or podcasts for hours. Personally, I really like to listen to rain sounds before I go to bed, and since the Raycon earbuds are wireless, I don't have to worry about a wire like strangling me in the middle of the night, and because they don't have stems as well, I don't have to worry about when I sleep on my side having a stem like jabbing below my ear. Their Everyday E25 earbuds though are their best model yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. And it also comes in new fun colors. Plus, Raycon has a 45-day free return policy so that you can make sure that they're the right earbuds for you. So if you want to check out Raycon for yourself, click the link in the description box below to get 15% off of your order, which is buyraycon.com/KCAonso. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring. Now, let's get to the video. I'm honestly really excited to do this video, which I know makes me sound like a masochist, but I'm actually really curious to see how this movie turned out. One change that I noticed a couple months ago when they announced it was that a Sprouse brother is actually in this movie, which at first I was like, why would he do that? But then I remembered he's a twin, and maybe he just felt compelled to also be a part of an embarrassingly bad teen franchise. But yeah, we're gonna be watching After We Collided today, and based on the first movie, my expectations are definitely very low, but let's see how this goes. Also, this is going to be the extent of a disclaimer that I put in here. I don't hate Anna Todd. I don't hate the guy who can't act. I don't hate anybody. We're just having fun here. In all seriousness though, which I feel like I also mentioned this in my first After video, just because I don't like a movie doesn't mean you can't. Like, I loved Twilight growing up. That shit was hot garbage, and at the time people talked tons of shit about it, and that's okay. What I'm trying to say is that I loved garbage too. It's not that deep. Anna Todd is still getting her bag regardless, and with that being said, let's get to the video.
The entire world is a collection of memoranda that...
No, this is too early for this shit. We are 7 seconds into this movie, and this guy's already saying shit like memoranda. I actually think that's a new record. What the fuck? Of memoranda. Who says memoranda that flippantly? Like, I don't think I've ever been in a conversation with someone and they're like, ah yes, memoranda. My best guess why they're making him say stuff like this in the dialogue is they want to make him seem very like cultured and like he reads a lot, so he has a very big vocabulary, but realistically people who read a lot don't talk like this. The people who talk like this are people who wear fedoras. I mean, we haven't seen him yet, so maybe he is wearing one.
A rather pretentious way to open our story.
Okay, at least he's aware of it.
She meets a dashingly handsome young man who sweeps her off her feet.
If he does say so himself. Can you imagine I narrated my videos like this? This is the story of a dashing young woman.
Only it is he who is destroyed by...
Wow, this is deep. What was the point of that scene? Okay, yeah, I'm coming back to this scene after watching the whole movie because I am very confused by it now after finishing it, because he has a place. Like, he has the same place he had in the first movie, and he never left it. So not really sure why they kind of make it seem like he's homeless at the beginning.
Woo! Sure don't seem like Christmas out here. All this heat we've been having.
It sure is hot for Christmas, because it's Christmas time. I love Christmas time because it's Christmas. What data plan does she have?
Asswipe!
Did you call me an asswipe?
Did you just call me weird? Because I'm a weirdo. Do you think she's reading like Wattpad scripts to get published? That'd be pretty meta.
Lightning McQueen put his wheel to Thomas the Tank Engine's mouth, symbolizing him to shut up.
This guy's name never gets old. Pardon?
I like the pen.
Okay. Would you like a ribbon? This guy's character just sounds like a 12-year-old wrote it. Like, what is a like hardcore guy? Oh, he likes pain.
Before we go out tonight, I just wanted to tell you something. Vance and I are more than coworkers.
Why would you tell your one-day-old intern this? Hey girl, this has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with what you're gonna be doing as a job here. But I just wanted to let you know that like, me and the boss are like dating.
Shoot. We forgot to buy you underwear.
Oh, for God's sake, we know where this is going. Oh no, it seems I don't have underwear or a bra, so I'm gonna be completely exposed in my dress. I hope there's no guy that's gonna like come out of nowhere and like, I don't know.
I can't believe we've been advanced for only a day.
Neither can I. It's literally only been 10 minutes.
I'll give you a hint. She's super fucking hot, a lot of fun, and loves to fuck.
Every single person in this room just has the same personality type where they just swear excessively while they talk about how much they like to have sex. And that's it. I just don't understand how the script can be so shallow. Like, you have a character who's supposed to be like a bad girl, and all she's done so far is just be like, hi, I'm a bad girl. There's ways to show this without her outwardly saying it so it doesn't feel awkward and forced and also just makes her feel like an actual person and not just some walking trope, but they just aren't really executing it. Scarlett Johansson tease. Just want to remind everybody watching, she is a one-day-old intern doing this in front of her boss and coworkers. A day into my internship, I still couldn't form a freaking sentence.
What do I have to do to make you forgive me? I know I've been really bad.
Worse than bad.
Yeah, but you like it when I'm bad.
She's bad, in case you didn't hear her. Like, bad. Bad girl. No good. Bad.
The fuck you looking at, freshman? You want me to steal your boyfriend? So turn the fuck around.
I'm sorry, but you are not Maddie from Euphoria.
Tessa?
Hey, bestie.
I've texted you 100 times, you haven't replied.
I sent you letters every day. I know I'm gonna get in shit for saying this, and I'm not saying that I'm good at acting. Like, I'm fucking trash at that shit. But this guy cannot act.
What's your favorite book?
I think he just wet himself. What's your favorite book?
Like a real book.
I want to talk about real things with you because I'm deep. So I want to talk about deep things with you. Literature. Angry, angry, walking cousin, angry.
Fucking Trevor!
Trevor!
Oh my god!
What?
You're insane!
You guys are at like a 10 right now. And I'm at like 5. So if we could just like bring it down. Every time they interact with each other, it's like, yell, yell, yell. More yelling. Yell, 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 yell. Ah! Like, why is there so much yelling? These two are like that one scene from Marriage Story where they were like screaming at each other. But instead of it being like one scene, it's the whole fucking movie.
What if I was?
What?
There. Yeah. Where did Underpants Guy go?
Who did you kiss?
No one!
Was it Trevor?
No!
My Tessa would never kiss a fucking stranger at a club.
There is no you're Tessa anymore! Fuck you!
Fuck!
Holy shit. These two are so toxic that it's to the point where they're just annoying. I get that the point of this movie is they're trying to be like, oh, it's a toxic relationship, but they'll find love eventually. Like, I don't really want to see them get together at the end of this movie because they're awful for each other. They're awful to each other. Like, imagine being in one of the hotel rooms while they're flipping out like this. Like, this is just embarrassing.
Stranger at a club.
There is no you're Tessa anymore!
Yeah, well, when you were kissing that guy, I was fucking Molly.
Bye, bestie. That's so romantic of Hardin to get me this Kindle. I'm starting to realize that this movie has almost the exact same structure as 365 Days. Like, they'll fight really aggressively, and then they'll make up and have sex, and then they'll fight again really aggressively, and then they'll make up again and have more sex, and it's just a cycle that keeps going. The only difference is that it's definitely not as intense as 365 Days, which definitely makes sense because it's appealing to a completely different demographic, which happens to be teen girls. How has this movie been going for 40 minutes and it still feels like nothing's even happened? Like, stuff has happened for sure, but I feel like there hasn't really been any progression.
Good to see you too.
Okay, now he's the type of guy that would say memoranda.
Why is she calling you?
I'm sorry, Tessa.
Is she there yet? Mom?
Carol, she knows!
Knows what?
Hold on. Is she I don't know if I'm getting the wrong idea from this scene, but is her mom dating her ex-boyfriend?
I took him to therapist after therapist, but nothing seemed to help.
Have you tried drinking water?
Fuck no.
This guy swears like he's in the 5th grade and just learned what the word fuck means.
Yes, melt away.
It's not the pose melting this. Gonna tell me about your trains?
I love this king.
It says whatever our souls are made of.
His and mine are the same.
Fucking nerds. Don't you dare take
Sufjan Stevens.
I'm kind of confused right now because in all the promo material, they really kind of tried to set it up as like a love triangle kind of thing. But in terms of the actual movie, we've barely seen Trevor. Like, honestly, it's been 45 minutes and it's just been her and Hardin. Like, where is that guy?
We've missed you.
Oh my god, why would you go there?
Hey, Tess. Truth or dare? Truth. Are you a virgin?
Molly, don't.
Oh. Duh. I already know the answer to that because Hardin fucked you.
I don't understand how that was a burn.
My turn. Molly, truth or dare?
Truth.
Is it true that you're a whore?
What was the escalation for? How did this escalate like this? This is like if someone said, I don't care that you broke your elbow, and then the other person's like, well, I hope your parents die. Like, we just went from like here all the way up to here for no reason. Is this actually happening? Ladies, I understand you're very emotional right now, but maybe just stop talking to that guy who seems to be the common denominator.
Get that fucking bitch out of here!
Why are we yelling? Yeah, this is normal. This reaction, normal. This is hilarious. Let's all giggle. Okay, so by my calculations, they just made up, which means that there's gonna be a fight soon. Can they do it with only 16 minutes remaining in the movie? Let's find out.
What the fuck? Hey! Dude, she kissed me. Fuck off, Tessa! What the fuck?
Like clockwork.
Why do you care, huh? You just kissed that girl.
No, you don't get to cry!
Let's go, toxicity, let's go!
I was trying to make her forgive me.
For what?
Because I'm trying to be a better person for you. That's what I fucking do.
Sorry, I was feeling left out.
You think that I should trust you? Yes. Where has that ever gotten me?
Going by her logic by saying, oh, where's trusting ever gotten me? Does that mean that she never intended to trust him her entire relationship with him? What?
Oh, fuck this. Fuck you!
Guys, can you please just break up? Like, come on. These two are dumb, they're terrible for each other, and the idea that they're gonna get back with each other by the end of this franchise is just... What is this guy, the Flash?
You're toxic and you're bad news.
And not a single lie was told. I don't know if this is just because I'm editing late at night, but this scene is hilarious now. Like, when I first watched this, I didn't even really think about it, but now looking back on it, he's just like talking shit in the parking lot. He's got his hand on his hip, the sass is on, like, this is amazing. You were an amazing addition, Dylan Sprouse. So after the fight, Hardin actually decides he's gonna move back to London because he thinks that him and Tessa should have some time apart. But before he does that, he actually leaves a note for Tessa, basically just explaining everything that they had their fight on the lawn about. I was just gonna say the fight that they had, but then I remembered just how many fights are in this movie, and I'm pretty sure if you don't define which fight you're talking about, the other person in the conversation is just gonna be completely fucking confused.
And as for that other night, that girl, she was one of my former conquests.
Conquest? And we're supposed to believe he changed?
Will you marry my dad and be my stepmom?
This is so weird. Can you imagine your boss doing this at work? Like, what? So in terms of how this movie actually ended, I don't actually have any footage of me reacting to it because as I was watching it go down, I honestly had no thoughts. For the sake of summarizing this movie properly though, what ended up happening is that Hardin showed up to that work party where Tessa's boss had proposed to that girl, and after Tessa sees Hardin, she like runs off. Hardin ends up chasing her like outside, and then Hardin can't find her and thinks that she's left, and then she comes out from like this hiding spot, and they kind of just have a moment where they just look at each other for like a minute, and then they get in a car together, which I think is supposed to be a happy ending. Okay, so in terms of my thoughts on this movie, and especially in terms of comparing it to the first one, considering a lot of people, even fans of the franchise, had issues with the first movie and were hoping that the second one was going to rectify a lot of those issues, I honestly feel like the only improvement I really see is that there aren't nearly as many music montages. And I actually do mean that as a serious compliment, that they did fix that pretty well, because the first movie, if you haven't seen it, was, I kid you not, 85% music montages with no dialogue. So the fact that this one only had 2 or 3, I think, within the whole movie is a serious improvement. Apart from that though, I just think that this movie is just so shallow. Everything from the storyline to the characters just kind of feels so surface level and just feels like a bunch of tropes that were mishmashed together and then follows a very typical storyline, and that's pretty much it. I just think it's bad, honestly. And maybe that's because it's not my cup of tea, but honestly it just felt like I was watching two people run in the same circle for over an hour. Of course, since this movie was about a toxic relationship, you're gonna have that pattern of them making up and then getting in fights and then making up again. But it was so often in this movie that it just felt painfully repetitive. It just felt like everything that didn't have to do with them fighting and then having makeup sex was an afterthought that was written just to build a movie around it. Which, listen, there's a demographic for that clearly. This movie has a massive fan base. I feel like this movie just has the same issue as 365 Days, which I did, I think, mention in that video, which I wouldn't complain about as much if there was like some serious character development going on with these two in this movie. But nothing changed. Like, they're literally in the exact same position they were in before. Like, for example, if you strip back the original After movie and then you strip back this one just to their main plot points, it's almost the exact same movie. Of course, there's minor changes like the setting and the person that Hardin is accused of like cheating on, and like he didn't actually cheat with that girl, but still, it's the same fights, it's the same issues, and no growth. Of course, I get that people watching this aren't watching it because they want a rich plot. They just want to watch these guys fight and then have makeup sex, which is fine, but I just wish that this movie did a better job of building a story around it. That didn't feel repetitive and shallow, I mean. The movie did definitely have bad good parts, if that makes sense, like kind of like how you watch Twilight and even though you know it's terrible, there's parts that are so bad that they're funny. But for the most part, this movie just really felt bland and boring. Part of me almost wonders if the actors are overacting so much because there's so little actually going on, so they feel like they have to like make some big production out of a fight to a degree that's just unnatural to make the scene just feel more engaging. There was just so much excessive screaming. Like, I get that people scream when they fight, but there were definitely fights in this movie where screaming didn't really match the fight that they were having, and it was just kind of weird to watch. I feel like in terms of comparing the two to find which one is better is kind of hard because there's definitely pros and cons to both that kind of conflict with each other. Like, for example, the first After, I had a lot of issues with it because there was barely any dialogue, and it just felt like the movie was mainly just music montages of these two people just being in a relationship together. But the second movie, I have more issues with the dialogue. I'm definitely curious to know what you guys thought of the movie if you have watched it, or if you haven't watched it, I'd love to know why. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And if you want to follow me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are both Casey Aonso. You might be wondering where the sweaty shoutout is this week. If you've been on my channel before, I usually do them at the beginning of the video, but as I was editing this, I realized that the intro was just way too long because of the disclaimer that I had to put in, and I just decided it would be better if I just put them like separate. Initially, I was just gonna cut down the disclaimer because usually people just don't really care about them, but I decided that usually, because people get touchy about this subject in particular, it was probably best if I just kept it in its entirety, even though there's probably going to be at least one person that hears that entire disclaimer and completely ignores it. So hopefully you guys don't mind. Think of it as, I guess, like a little bit of an Easter egg at the end of the video, or a sweaty egg. You know what? I actually don't like that term at all. We're just gonna pretend that I did not say that. And this week it goes to Tilly Godoy, who sent this photo that says the hair, the lice. If you want to get a shout out for yourself, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram, and then DM me your favorite meme of the week, and you might get chosen. That's about it for me. I really hope you guys enjoyed again, and I will see you guys in the next one.